Please be advised that Little Miss Recap contains adult language. Hi everyone, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we already know what you did, Jeremy, but we're going to let you walk right into that trap.
And he did.
Oh, that was brilliant. That was a brilliant takedown.
It was so fucking brilliant. I didn't realize that she knew. That's how good she was.
I know. I have complex feelings on her. We'll get to it.
Me too. I do too this week.
As typical. Oh, guys, I'm Amy Archer. I'm here at my sidekick Steph. We're going to talk Love is Blind episodes 7 through 9. Season 6, episodes 7 through 9. The entire drop. So make sure you've watched all the episodes before you listen to this.
Right.
As always, I've been on a journey where everything I said last episode, throw it out the window.
Right?
Right. Everybody. I liked Jeremy.
I know you did.
Forget it now. Forget it.
I liked Laura, and I'm not sure how I feel anymore. I have mixed feelings about her too. After meeting her family, who's like, she's basically the biggest asshole we know.
Also,
even her dad.
I know.
Was like, don't treat her like a princess. What?
I know. Also, I'm just going to say it right off the bat. I know he's not great. I know there's problems, but Clay gets fucking hotter every time I see him.
Amy, he's so he's hot. His sister's hot. His mom is hot. Like, what is happening?
When he has those glasses on.
I knew it. I know. Because I saw the same thing. Dude, he's a beautiful human.
He's a beautiful human. And even though, here's how bad I am. Even though he's spouting garbage, it is literally verbal diarrhea.
I know.
I could sit there and listen to it.
I know. Well, I mean, maybe in little doses I could.
Oh my God.
He's so hot.
So I want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's come out on social media about the guys.
Okay.
In particular.
Oh, I know.
So I want to talk about the Jeremy thing. So apparently it has come out that he was engaged to somebody only weeks before this, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Yes.
And everybody's like, oh my God, he's trash, ready to throw him out with the dumpster. Mm-hmm. Jeremy has come out and said they didn't show it on the show, but I talked in depth with Laura and Sarah Ann about this. They knew it. The producers knew it. Like, it's no big gotcha moment.
Out of here.
I feel like saying, okay, but it's still problematic for the following reason. Like, maybe you didn't hide it and maybe you didn't lie about it, but do you really think 6 to 8 weeks after a broken engagement, you're ready to go on Love is Blind and get married again?
I know, dude.
Like, clearly that shows that you're either you don't understand yourself and know that you needed time to heal and think about things, or you just didn't take this seriously.
It's wild. It's wild. There's weird shit about all of them.
So then it also came out about Trevor.
Yes.
That supposedly he was like in this hot and heavy relationship and went on the show to build business for his gym or whatever he does. What does he do? I forget.
Yeah, I think
he's like a personal trainer or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And the girl has receipts, and I don't know how we feel about that. So
I'm a little confused by is he still in a relationship?
I don't know if they're still together, but they were together throughout the entire filming.
Oh.
And they were texting back and forth apparently. I don't know.
Wow.
The girl has receipts.
Wow.
It's pretty wild. Mm-hmm.
And wasn't there another one?
There was some rumor about Jimmy, but I don't think it's true. Some random woman on TikTok is like, oh, my boyfriend's on there. But I think it's fake because she's like, but I still love him and we could work through it. So I'm not saying who it is. I think she's just doing it to.
How about, I saw something yesterday about Amber.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Amber apparently also had a boyfriend, a long-term boyfriend. That's why she left.
Okay. Was Amber the one that was talking to Matthew?
I believe so.
All right.
I believe.
Listen, Let's just not forget, this is the same production company as Married at First Sight.
Right?
Something is wrong, guys, with the formula because you've created these 2 shows where people just use them for clout now.
I know, why? I
Because
hate it
I
because
don't
it's
know.
like it makes me not wanna watch because I know it's not real now.
I know. Like,
Like, that bothers me.
I saw a meme that said, "The whole Love Is Blind franchise was just created so Lauren and Cameron could meet, period, done."
Oh,
And I agree with that.
okay.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Um,
I don't know.
okay, so let's do it, shall we? Shall
Let's
we,
do
shall
it.
we?
Let's do it.
Alright, so what we'll do is we're gonna go couple by couple.
Okay.
Alright, does that work
Mhm.
for you?
Sure does.
So we're gonna start with who would you like to start with? I'll let you pick.
I wanna start with Amy
And Johnny.
and Johnny.
Johnny, who is like now winning for best performance from a non-female in this entire cast
I know.
because he's not problematic. I like him.
I like him too. Like, I actually really like him and
I do too.
her. I
I
love
do too.
her.
I like her too.
Yeah.
So these 2 are riding horses, and she's like, "This is the best part of the week." And he's
Aw.
like, "Really? Like, we got engaged, but this is the best part of the entire month?" Now, while they're still in where are they? They're in the Dominican Republic, right?
Yes.
The
Mhm.
DR. So while they're still there, Laura goes over to him and she's telling him she's obsessed with Laura uses the word obsessed more
Yeah,
than
she
anyone I know.
does. She
I'm
does.
obsessed with you. I'm obsessed with you. Johnny and her start talking about birth control. And because Laura, of course, asks if they're banging, which boundaries, people.
I mean, I don't know. I think
I
I
know
would
it's
do
in the
that too.
experiment.
It
I
is.
know. I
Like, I
know.
think especially you and me, like, if
Mm.
we would totally be asking
I don't know if
Amy.
I would have
Yes,
the
we would.
balls to go over to a guy and ask. I think in girl
Oh, a
talk, I might
girl
do it.
maybe. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So Johnny says Amy's not on birth control, and he's in a cold panic about this.
I
And
know.
he says every woman I've dated has been on birth control. Like it's not something
Sir.
I've ever thought about. And he's like, I know it's not all her responsibility, but it's just I'm telling you why we're not banging because she's not on birth control, and something we got to figure out.
Mm.
Why is she not on birth control? Now, she said she's anemic. Does that have something to do with it?
I don't know. She mentioned that she was anemic and that there's some reason why some women can't take it. I have no idea.
I was
Um,
one of those women who could not take it. So I understand this.
but maybe she just doesn't want to because they're fucking hormones that fuck
Yeah.
up your body. Like,
Yeah.
figure it out, dude. Like,
Yeah.
have we never heard of a condom? Like, I don't understand.
Right.
This isn't that
100%.
hard.
Yeah.
Like, he's
100%.
making a way bigger deal about this than it needs to be, and it's really annoying.
I think it's a um like a response from my husband is like this.
Oh,
Okay? Like he did not want to have a family until he was financially stable, ready to have a family. And I remember saying to him when I got pregnant, like, if you wait till you're financially ready to have a baby, you're never going to have a baby.
no, 100%.
There's no perfect time. Are there better times than not?
Of
Sure.
course.
100%. I mean, if you're 18, you're just out of high school, you don't even have a job yet, you're banging around. That's not a good time to have a kid.
No.
You're in a tumultuous relationship, not a good time to have a kid.
Yeah.
But like, if they're married a year and it happens by accident, they'll survive it. They'll be
Yeah,
fine. You
for
know what I mean?
sure, for sure.
So um later, Amy says she's worried about her parents because she has overshared in the past and they've become too involved in her relationships.
Mm.
Timmy and I were talking about this the other night. Do you remember when, like, you actually cared about what your parents thought?
Yes, I always cared about what my dad thought.
I don't care about what my
Always.
parents think now.
Well, I don't have parents now, so I can't answer that.
Yeah, but your dad is gone, what, 5, 6 years? So you were in your late 30s when you
Mm.
lost him.
Yeah, I was 35.
Did you care?
Yes.
I think after, like, 30, I stopped caring what
What do
my
you
parents
mean?
did.
Like, in what care in what way, though? Be
Okay,
more
caring
specific.
okay, not caring, like, are they proud of me? Of course, we always care about that.
Sure.
But caring enough about, like, they have input on your partners, you kinda do what they want you to do.
Oh, I never did that.
Okay, alright.
Never. If, I listened to my dad, I would not have gotten married when I did,
Okay,
but I did it
alright.
anyway,
See,
you
my
know?
parents did not like my first husband, and I
Yeah.
married him anyway, and it was a big mistake, so then they're like, that hung over me.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
I
that's
I
the exact same thing that I did.
Yeah, I really gave them a lot of power over my, like, life in my 20s, and I think it was when I was in my
Yeah.
30s I finally started to shed that.
See, I don't think I ever gave my dad power over my decisions, but I always ran everything past him. Like, my dad was my moral compass in a lot of
Mhm.
ways.
See, that was my gram for me,
Mhm.
but my
Yeah,
gram
yeah.
always liked whoever I chose.
Okay.
'Cause my gram was she
Yeah,
was like that. She was not gonna, you know what I mean? She
yeah,
trusted
I
my
do.
judgment. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
So, she says if she doesn't get her dad's blessing, she doesn't know if she could go forward with this. So this is gonna be their
Oh,
conflict,
yeah, I think
is
so
gonna be the
too.
dad. They talk about buying a house and finances, and it seems like Johnny is a little bit of a Timmy and wants to live
Mhm.
real frugal.
Yep. I thought actually it's really funny because I did think of Timmy.
Guys, this is my husband.
Yep.
We've talked about this a lot. If he did the budgeting and the bills in my house, I would
Yep.
have $20 a week to live on. That would be it.
Yes, that'd
Like,
be it.
Home Goods, I would never see the inside of a Home Goods
No,
again.
you would never see the
Mm-mm.
inside of a Home Goods. There might be, like, an outhouse situation. I don't know
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
happening.
He's real frugal. And Amy's like, but this is what I like because I think this is what Timmy and I do for each other. Like, I balance him. 'Cause
I
I'm
know.
the one who forces him, like, "We have to go on vacation. We have to get a new couch. You have to get a new truck when yours is literally falling apart." Like,
Right.
she can do that for Johnny, I think. I think she
Yes.
you
Yeah.
it's good when people agree on finances, but if you don't agree on finances, at least respect each other's point of view, and I think that's what these 2 will do. There'll
Mhm.
be
I do
mutual
too.
respect there. Yeah.
I mean, the horrible thing in my house is we can both be spenders.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
Patrick we would not have a house just because we would be homeless because there would be no money to pay for anything.
Right.
And
Right.
I can be that way too, but I'm a little bit better than he is, so
Mhm. Mhm. So you
it
guide.
works. I
Yeah.
guide, but I'm not a great
Yeah.
leader, so, you know.
I think you at the core, you have to have like, one can't be a wild spender and one is totally frugal.
Right.
But one can be frugal and one could be a little more spendy, if that
Right,
makes
right, right.
sense. Like,
Yeah,
opposite ends of the spectrum aren't gonna work, but
right.
somewhere in the middle, I
Yep,
think could work.
for sure.
So, later, Amy is making cookies that look underdone
Oh,
for Johnny's family. Did you agree?
okay.
Those cookies were not they were not done.
No, they
And
were not done.
I don't know what you're
No.
doing. I just have that his sisters come over and a boyfriend or a fiance, and they're very lovely, and they
Yeah,
like Amy a lot, and I like
yeah.
them, and
Me
these
too.
guys have no problems.
I really hope they make it.
I do too. They might be the one
Saving
success.
grace. Yeah.
Mhm,
Mhm, mhm.
mhm.
For sure.
Alright, Brittany and Kenneth.
Oh, you know
Oh,
this hurts
boy.
me.
Oh, boy. I'm gonna get it out of the way, and I'm gonna say it, I would've taken that phone and beat him over the head with it.
Same. Thank you, yes. Oh my god, yes.
No, no.
Why? He just, like it's almost like he completely checked out.
Yeah.
What the frick do we think
I
happened?
don't know what happened here. I don't know what
I
happened.
don't either. It's so strange, though.
It's so strange. I think we didn't see enough of their relationship in the
I agree
pods
with that. I
to
agree with that.
understand what bound them from the start.
Yep. I completely agree with that. And I was so hopeful. They were my favorites. He's my favorite.
I do like him, but he needs to get
Yeah,
the fuck off that phone.
I know.
So we open the episode with him telling Brittany about the conversation about the kids with AD.
Mhm.
Brittany's fine with it as long as she says AD was coming to to it with good intentions, and I think
Right.
she was, so that's fine.
Yep.
It sounds like Brittany has dated outside her race before, so she's, like, receptive to those kinds of conversations,
Right.
and Kenneth said his best friend is gonna be concerned, as will the other people in his life. I wonder, did he say if he's ever dated outside his race
I
before?
don't think he did. I think he
Mm.
said he hasn't. I think
So
that was the
maybe
whole
that's what
thing.
he's in his head about.
I think so, like, she has and he
Mhm.
hasn't. And you'll notice
Okay.
in that episode, he brings up his people a
A
lot.
lot.
"My
Yes.
people are gonna wanna know, and my people," and I was just like,
Yeah.
"Ooh,
Yep.
okay."
Yep. He
Which I just
says,
think is odd because didn't they kind of know in the pods that she was not
I
black?
that well, that's what I wanna know. Did they talk about this? I think they
I
did.
I thought they did too, that's why
Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused,
But
and
there's
maybe I'm misremembering,
there's a difference between saying it though and then, like, the reality setting in.
right?
You know what I
I
mean? Like, maybe
guess,
he's like, "Oh, shit, like, my people are not gonna be okay with this." Like, my friends, my parents, whomever.
and I hate that.
I saw an interview with him on the Kelly Clarkson show
Really?
where he was before this, where he was talking
Oh,
about she highlighted him as an educator.
mm,
He's a really good dude.
I think he is too. You know,
Mhm.
like I said last time, I'm always hot for teacher, always.
Yeah. Yep. So, he says we need to be good, and she asks what that means. Like, what is the measurement of good for you?
Mhm.
And he says, I think it's just your actions aligning with your words. And she said, well, I'm good at that. So we're
Yeah,
good. Then
yeah.
they take this long, very chilly boat ride where he hardly talks to her.
I
He only
know.
perks up when he sees a dolphin.
Amy, what was happening? I don't
Well, I mean,
understand.
I understand that completely. Because if I saw a whale, I would go bananas.
I know. I know. But he really seemed completely disinterested. Like he was just not there.
He was not there.
It's so strange. And like what
He had the
happened?
ick in some way. We don't know
I
what it was, but he
know.
had the ick.
I really want to know what it is because I
Back
think she's lovely. I think
I
he's
do too.
lovely. I don't
I do too.
understand what's happening here.
I like her a lot.
I do too.
Back home, he's all about his phone. She's unpacking, she's doing all the work, and he's on his phone. Now, first, he's like, and you're married to a teacher, you get this,
Yeah.
and I
Yep.
was a teacher. The When you are a teacher, there's no end of your day.
No.
It all
Well,
bleeds together. You have students, depending on the grade level you teach,
yeah.
you have students emailing you at all times of the night and day.
Yep.
And if he's a principal, he's got teachers emailing him, he's got parents
Yeah.
emailing him, it's a
Mhm.
very busy
Mhm.
job.
Yep.
So at first he's like, "Oh, I'm sending work emails and I have a presentation tomorrow morning." And so I get that. I get
Yeah.
that. Let
But
her
she was like literally like, "Hey, which is there a certain drawer that you prefer over the other?" And he was
Mhm,
like not like
not
it's
even
like she
answering.
wasn't even
Nope.
there. That's what pissed me off. At least fucking acknowledge when someone's speaking to you. I don't
I
like that.
agree. I agree.
That was rude.
Later she's like, "Your body language is so shut down." And he tells her she overanalyzes everything. No, she
Yeah,
doesn't.
no, I don't think
No.
not. I mean, based on what we're seeing, no, dude.
Yeah.
She's
Then
just
he's
saying it.
Then he's like, "If I don't show up like I did on the honeymoon, where's my grace? Am I gonna be given grace?"
Yeah, he's not in a good way.
Mm-mm. Later,
I
they
was
have a
so
conversation
surprised.
about him coming home at 1:30 in the morning
I know.
and waking her up when she had to get up at 5. Because she's a teacher too, I believe. That's how they bonded. She's a teacher, he's a principal.
Oh, I think you're right.
We see him eating, his phone's right next to him, and he's immediately like, "Don't act like I was out all night. I told you what I was doing. I shared, my details with you, told you when I was changing locations." He's like, I don't want one night of me getting home late to color what people think of me."
Mm,
Then she says, "There's really no crave between us, and I don't want to go against the Lord and have sex, but I want to get right up to that line." Like, that's her kink, right?
yeah.
And he claims that's not true for him. He's craving her. Steph?
No, he's not. Sir,
Mm-mm.
no. No, sir, you're
Mm-mm.
lying.
And
No.
he's trying to say, like, "I was trying to get some at 1:30 in the morning and you were not into it." She was tired.
Yeah, dude. Read the room. When you walk in and the person is sleeping, I don't
Yeah.
know. This
Yeah.
this conversation bothered me.
Well, then he says, I think you need to be more transparent and think about the role you play in this because I was trying to get a little at 1:30 and you shut me down." She's like, "We never make out, we're never affectionate." And then he turns it right on her. I don't know if you caught this. And it's
I
like, "Oh,
did.
okay, so you're not in this anymore? Okay, then I think we're done."
Yeah. That
Like,
was his
"Oh, sorry,
escape.
if you don't have this feeling for me, I'm done." And
Yeah.
she looks like she was hit by a truck.
I know. She was so upset, like visibly upset. I think he was just like waiting. It's like he
Yes.
was waiting for an out.
Yes. And
And I
while they're having this conversation, he's on his phone.
on the phone. I know. I know. I wanted
And
to shove it right up his ass.
let me tell you something. He's doing this. You guys can't see this. Stephanie, please describe what I'm doing.
So she's looking at her phone, not paying any attention to me, and he's just scrolling and scrolling and
Right,
scrolling.
the
The
scrolling, right?
scroll.
So
Yeah.
if you're responding to important emails, are you just scrolling?
No,
No,
he
you're
was
typing.
clearly, yeah, he was clearly on like social.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I would have ripped that phone out of his fucking hand and I would
I
have beat him to death with it.
I know. I
Not that I
literally just
advocate violence,
I literally just said I would have shoved it up his ass.
but I'm sorry. This
Mm-mm.
is not the conversation to be on your fucking phone.
No, it was rude. It was really
Mm-mm.
fucking rude, and it's obvious that he was just waiting for an out. I just need to know why.
I think
Because
I'm
they were my
triggered.
favorites.
I think I'm triggered by this because we all know
I
my
know.
ex-husband would be on his video games and I'd be trying to have like life
Life
relationship ending
conversations, yeah,
conversations
I
and he
know.
would not even look away from his video game. So,
I can't.
okay. So they're
Deep
done.
breaths.
They're done.
I know,
It's
like,
over.
can you even imagine? Like, Amy, what happened?
I
I
don't
don't
know,
even know
dude.
that I can move on from this.
Dude,
This
I
was
don't know.
so messed up.
I don't know.
What the hell happened that it's just over?
It's just done. It's done. And she's crying and he has the balls to say, and again, I like him, but
I
his
know.
behavior in this area is not good.
No, it's
He
bad.
has the
It's
balls to
bad.
say, "Give me a hug so there's no hard feelings."
Yeah,
What?
no, no.
You proposed to me.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, either she did something horrible that the producers didn't show us, because
I don't think
which
so.
I don't
What did
obviously,
she
I
do?
don't either, that's what I'm saying, or he's just a huge jerk and we don't know it, like, I don't know, how could we have missed it?
I
He
think
seemed
he
like the
had the
greatest
ick.
guy.
I
I
don't think
know,
it
but
has anything to do
why?
with her because she's stunning. I
Yeah.
just think maybe he got in his head about dating outside his race and maybe he decided it's something he doesn't want to do, which is fine. That's
Which
fine.
is fine,
But
but
you
then
should
why
have
would you
had
go
that
on,
conversation with her.
right,
Right.
and then why would you go on a show called Love is Blind?
Right. Exactly. If you're not going to accept what
Sir.
is there. Yeah. Are you ready to move over to AD and Clay?
Yes. God.
Okay.
Let me get my fan.
So he likes to kiss her at red lights.
Oh. What do you
Okay.
think about that?
I would make out with Clay anywhere he
I
wanted
know.
me
I
to.
was
Red
just gonna
light,
say
green
you
light,
stop
yellow
like middle of
light.
the road. I know. Crosswalks.
One thing I was confused about with him is he didn't know that Massachusetts had beaches. And I'm wondering, did he never see Jaws?
I don't think he's seen Jaws. I don't think he's ever been to a wedding. I think there's just a lot of stuff that he doesn't understand. He's
He's
lived a very sheltered life.
he's a real fuck boy. And if it didn't happen inside a club, he hasn't seen it.
Right?
That's it.
I don't
That's it.
understand how he has, like,
If they weren't
this.
playing Jaws at the club on a Friday night, he doesn't know
He
what
didn't
it
see
is.
it. Right? Like, all right, I understand. Like, I just that no, I don't understand. I don't understand. There's a lot of things that I feel like he's I don't want to say it because I don't want to get yelled at, but is he just not real bright? Or is he just I
I
don't
think
get
he has
it.
just spent his life knee deep in you know what and wasn't paying attention.
I guess.
I
I
guess.
guess. I don't know. His
Do you
mom
notice I
seems
can't say
like
the P word? I just can't say it. You
knee
can
deep
say it.
in pussy.
Yeah, I can't say it. It bothers
Or
me.
do you
It's like
mean
the C
was
word.
he balls deep in pussy or knee deep in
Oh,
pussy?
stop. Stop.
I hate you.
I hate you. So now they talk about her cheering for the Patriots, and he's like, "We're gonna be an iconic couple. We're gonna be like Black excellence. We're gonna be an iconic
Yeah.
couple."
He's
It
he's
reminds me of
really all about status. That upsets me.
Brennan on Married at First Sight. What is he saying? Power couple, power
Power
couple. Because you drive a
couple.
Jeep. You drive a Jeep, I drive an Audi. Yeah.
I told you that Audi was problematic.
Now he brings up his dad, and he says his dad is a very suave Guyanese man. He's from is that from Guana?
Guyana?
Guyana?
I thought it was Guyana.
Yeah, because he's Guyanese, yeah.
Guyanese, yeah.
So, is that where Jim Jones was in the People's Temple?
I don't Oh, I think maybe.
I think so. Anyway,
Huh. I'll
so
have to
his
look that
dad
up.
is a Guyanese man, and he's very suave, and we're gonna learn more
Mm.
about the dad in a minute.
Mhm.
Now they're eating soup, and he slurps his soup, and there has been made a lot about this on the internet, and I have to say, I would slurp that fucking soup, and I wouldn't give a shit.
How
I
about
am
how
all about
horrified
drinking broth.
I mean, I love a broth, but I think there's, like, nicer ways to do it. Like, we don't have to be
The
like a dog with our face in the bowl.
He is so into that soup,
He was into
and
I
I'm
mean,
here for it. I'm here
I
for it.
mean, I was happy that he was enjoying it,
Mhm.
you
Yep.
know?
I wrote, "He's
Give
loving
the
the
man
shit
his
out."
soup.
I
Give
wrote, "He's loving the shit out of this soup," and that's
give
okay.
give the man his soup.
Let's normalize slurping soup in a fancy place, because it's just the 2 of them. If he was doing it in, like, the Roosevelt Room, is that a thing?
I don't know.
I don't know. If he was doing it in, like, a fancy restaurant, I could see,
Yeah, I know.
but okay.
I'm just teasing. I really don't give a shit that he was slurping the soup. It was kind of funny.
So then he says, "I just wanna sit here and observe the water," but I don't know if you noticed this about him, he can't sit still, he can't be
No.
still.
Uh-uh.
He starts stacking the plates,
Yep. And
like he Mhm.
she's clearly like, what the hell is happening? And then I couldn't tell. Was she annoyed that he was stacking the plates because she wasn't finished eating and he just took all the food?
I think she was just like, "What is happening right now?"
Yeah,
Like,
I couldn't figure that out.
AD is very good at, like, she's just observing.
Serving. I know.
She's just taking all this
I
in,
know. I
and I
know.
think her level of alarm is rising slowly.
Yes, it is. But like I said, I couldn't tell if he was doing that thing where he was taking the food away and she wasn't done yet, because there was food on those plates.
I think she was observing that he can't be still,
Okay.
and
I couldn't figure it out, so
that's concerning.
yeah.
It's
There's a lot
concerning.
concerning.
Let me rephrase. There's a lot of people who, myself included, you get anxious in a moment, you don't know how to be still. Like, I have a real problem looking people in the eyes. It's weird for me.
Oh,
I have to look away after like a few seconds because it's so awkward. Some people might be like, "Oh my god, that's a red flag." Like, so the fact that he can't sit still doesn't mean he's some kind of crazy psychopath. That's not what I'm
right.
saying.
I
I'm
mean
saying he doesn't feel at peace with her. He is not
oh,
content in this moment. He is nervous, and he is like,
mm,
I don't
I don't
know,
know, I didn't
itchy?
get that.
Is that a thing?
Could be, but I didn't that's not what I picked up on.
He doesn't seem at peace, and that would bother me.
I think he was just I don't know. I didn't feel that. I didn't
Maybe
feel that he wasn't at peace.
maybe too, like, being on the camera makes him a little nervous?
I think that's what I think it was the camera, and I only say that because we all know after last week's recording that I got yelled at to stop moving so much. I am that person, so I understand this. Like, it's taking everything in me to sit still right now and not
Mhm.
clank my microphone all
Well,
over
you're
the
doing a good
place.
job.
It's hard. I'm not doing
Mhm.
well.
You're
I'm not
doing a
okay over here.
you're doing okay.
But I really do resonate with that because I am somebody that often, especially if I'm being recorded, I don't know what to do with myself.
Mhm, mhm,
Like when we record these podcasts, and even though no one is seeing me but you, I have a hard
mhm.
time sitting still, and that's why.
Okay, alright.
Isn't that strange? But I totally understand
No,
this.
because it took a lot of learning for me to learn how to sit still.
Mhm.
I'm not a
I'm
still
not
person.
good
I
at
talk
it.
with my hands, so to not have my
Well,
hands going.
that's it. I'm always flailing my hands, and then you're
Yeah.
hearing the clank of the wires and all the
Mhm,
things.
mhm.
So, yeah,
So,
I need to be
all
sedated.
all of a sudden, he's like, "I don't wanna let you down." And she's like, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
Alright. So now we get to their houses, and Clay has an amazing house,
He does.
and he's super proud of it, and he should be because it's
It's
great.
fucking great, and he's
And
so fucking hot. I
he's
just
so
can't get
hot.
over how hot he is.
And he's like, "This is where we'll live." And later when he's wearing that sweater and the glasses, ugh,
I know. Those glasses threw me. The
I
glasses are
know.
what sealed the
I
deal
know.
for me. You
I
know I
know.
love a guy with glasses.
I know. Later, Jimmy and her talk, and he apologizes for the ass stuff, and she's like she laughs it off, and
Ooh.
she's pretty much like, "Well, I'm glad that talking about my ass helped your marriage," or whatever.
Yeah.
Back home, I don't know why I have then we go to his house. I did that out of order,
Mm,
I'm sorry. Anyway,
it's alright. Doesn't matter.
back home, Clay is talking a lot. Just this
Mhm.
verbal diarrhea, and he
Uh-huh.
starts talking stuff about his broth. He's had some broth over this process. I mean, he's even
He
cried.
has. He's had growth in these, what is it, 8 days?
He's
I
cried,
know.
he's told his friends about it,
Yeah. I'm proud of
and
him. He's really come a long way.
he's broing. Then
He's
he talks
growing.
okay, then he talks about his dad.
Oh.
Now, this is real bad, guys.
It's bad. It's bad. It's
As we
bad.
know, your same-sex parent is important in many ways, and Clay
Mhm.
grew up watching his same-sex parent cheat on his mother
I know.
constantly,
I
and even
know.
took Clay along on what he calls infidelity trips.
How freaking terrible was that? That is something I cannot even that's terrible to be that kid.
I'm gonna tell you right now, my dad is the oldest of him and his brother, and my grandfather was a serial cheater. You know, he had a whole separate
I
family. We
know.
had to have 2
Separate
funerals.
funeral, I
Yes.
know.
Um, my grandmother, when she would find out that he was shacked up with some other woman, would take my dad
Oh my
and go
god.
to the woman's house
Oh my
and be
god.
screaming at them and, like, pointing to my dad and being like, "This is his family, blah, 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 blah." I can't even tell you how much that fucked my dad. The fact that my dad is a great dad and normal and who he
I know. I
is
know.
amazing
I have
because he has struggled with that his whole life. Like, that fucked him up. Kids should not be exposed to your infidelity. They just shouldn't be.
no.
They just shouldn't
No.
be.
No. Never.
It's
No. No.
oof.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
that's why, like, the fact that Clay's like, "Oh, but I don't wanna my dad was a good dad." I'm sorry, but he
No.
wasn't if he's taking you on these trips.
No. And I think, like, your parent caring for you and financially supporting it, maybe that's what he meant. Like,
Maybe.
being so like, I don't know, but, uh, for me, parenting comes full circle. You
Yes.
can't be horrible at one thing and good at another. I mean, you can. We all are. There's plenty of things that I'm not good at, but this was just too much. This is
It
too
is true
much.
that somebody could be a good father, not a good husband. Let's just
True.
let's talk about men
Yes.
just in this case, okay, because he's talking
Yes.
about his father. So, does this apply to
Yes.
women too? Sure. But
Sure.
let's just for this sake, let's talk about men.
Okay.
Can men be good fathers and not great husbands? Yes.
Yes. Same for
100%.
women.
Right. But I would argue that it is not a good parenting choice to take your kid on an infidelity trip
No.
and putting them in the position where they are
Yep.
also complicit in keeping a secret from their
From their
mother.
mother. Mhm. That was
No.
terrible. That was
No.
terrible.
Nope. Nope.
No.
Nope. 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 And the
Nope.
fact that, like, you could tell that Clay is struggling with this even now. Like,
Yes.
you could tell that he
Yes.
has come into adulthood on his own and is starting to put the pieces together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will say that my dad, he will say often, like, because he and I will talk,
Mm.
and I'll be like, saying something that came up in therapy for me, or we'll be talking about his childhood or whatever. And I will say to my parents a lot, because my parents were teenage parents, and I will
Mhm.
often say to them, like, you guys did a great job considering how young you were, what you
Oh
had to
my
deal with.
god.
You know
They
what I
really
mean?
did. They really did,
They
though.
did. And so, like, I'll say that to my dad, like, "Dad, considering how grandpa was," like, and
Yeah.
my dad will always say to me, "I did exactly the opposite of what my father did." Like, I grew up and I realized I have to do the exact opposite.
So, it's wild that you say that because this whole time that we're talking about this, I'm thinking about my relationship with my mother. My
Mhm.
mother was Clay's father.
Yeah, and you
So
did the opposite.
and I exactly. Like, I always say I didn't know what to do as a parent, but I knew
Mhm.
what not to do,
Yes,
right?
and my dad was the same way.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
exactly.
I really feel that. My mom was I mean, I don't wanna say my mom never took us on, like, infidelity trips, but she left. I mean, my mom left when I was, like, 13. My
Yeah,
younger sister was 6,
yeah.
um, and took off to be
Right,
with
right.
another man and had, like, a whole other family.
Well,
I mean, she
and
didn't
I
have more children, but, like, she adopted his children like they were her own and left hers behind.
well, and
Like, it
I
was
only
crazy.
but you're making my point. Like, I only bring this up because I'm Clay is not damned to repeat that
No,
life. You
no,
know what I mean? Like,
no.
I think he's putting so I think the way that we're seeing him now, like, this is freaking AD out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But he could lead a completely different life if he takes
Sure.
that approach.
I'm just scared he's not going to, because he's so in love with himself,
I
right?
don't
I mean,
know.
he is. I mean, maybe that has nothing to do with why people cheat. I don't know.
She
I
cracked him
just
open in the pod. Something she did cracked him open, remember?
yeah,
And
yeah,
she cracked through this facade that he's been
yeah,
carrying for a long time.
yeah. I think you're right.
I don't know. I'm starting to think and this is wild to say I never would have said this in the first batch of episodes.
What?
He might work. They might work.
I can see that they might work.
They might work.
I saw it this week, more so than I did in the first drop.
Yep. So now they meet his mom and the sister stunning. She's stunning.
She's the most beautiful human,
Mhm.
truly. She's fucking gorgeous. So is his mother.
His mother's gorgeous
They're
too.
all gorgeous.
And we learn a lot about their work schedules. So they have crazy
Yeah.
intense work schedules that seem like they conflict a lot. And AD's not happy because what he's doing is his work is an hour away and he's staying,
Yeah.
and he's not coming home and she's not okay with
I
this.
wouldn't be okay with that
No.
either. Not in a
Uh
brand new relationship. No way.
hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. So she's not happy that he's not coming home. And also, I don't know if you clocked this. AD's freezing. He's sitting there wearing a sweater.
I
Mom
know.
has to take off
Mom.
her shawl and give it to her.
Mom. I know.
Mhm, mhm.
I know.
So mom also does say, like, look, I'm gonna just talk as the elder here. You
Mhm.
need to respect each other's work schedules. But she turns to him and she's like, you need to learn to work a little more balance into your
Mhm.
life.
Yeah.
And if
And
something she's right. And
she's right.
if something matters to you, you'll make the time. Period.
Right. I
She's
know.
right.
I love this mom.
I love her too.
I love this mom.
So that's them. Like, do you think they could work? I think they
I
could.
think they could if he doesn't fuck up. Like, if he gets his shit together, I think
Mhm.
they could work. But it's gonna
Yeah.
take a real effort on his part, I think, because he needs to grow up and get out of his fuckboy head.
I mean, she is literally like a fucking NFL cheerleader,
I
dude.
know,
And
she's fucking
and
gorgeous.
she's smart as a whip.
I know.
She's financially determined. Like, I don't think he can get better.
No, I don't think he can either.
All right.
She is really beautiful, though. Dear God, I was watching her in this episode. She has the most beautiful, I am about skin because I love
Mhm.
skincare and all
Mhm.
the things. She has the most beautiful skin.
She
Damn, she's
also
gorgeous.
she also too, like, one thing I appreciate about her is she's observing. Like,
Yes.
she's not
Yeah.
going at him about everything, she's kind
I
of
know.
taking it in.
You can see her doing that, like, so much
Yeah.
different than, like,
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh!
Let's go there.
Oh
Alright.
god, we're going. Let me prepare.
Here's
Gotta
what I have
stretch
for
my neck.
here's what I have for Chelsea and Jimmy. They wake up the next day and it's like nothing happened, and I wrote, "Oh my god, are these the 2 that make it? Like, what if these 2 are the 2 that make
I
it?"
think they might be, and I'm
How
not even gonna lie.
fucking wild would that be?
I know, I'm not even gonna lie, I think they might.
So, he's on the beach eating taquitos,
How
which
about
he chews his tongue and lip off.
This was the weirdest thing. When they showed I'm like, "Why are they showing him stuffing his face like that?" I'm like, "This is so bizarre." He's by himself,
I
and
know.
he was housing
I know.
that
I know.
food.
I
It
know.
was pretty funny. I mean, I've been known to do that too,
Uh,
so that's I
psh,
mean
Amanda and I are covering couple to thruple, and
Uh-huh. So
I
great.
talk more about that breakfast buffet. I mean, I am all about a breakfast buffet. I
I
could
love a
I could
buffet.
chew my own lip off at a breakfast buffet.
At a breakfast buffet, yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
100%.
Mhm.
Now, Chelsea's roommate, they meet Chelsea's roommate. She's a lot.
She is a lot.
She's a lot. And Jimmy's kind of like, not living here.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not living here.
And I
Mm-mm.
couldn't either. I'm
No.
with him on that. Nope.
But he lives in a studio and they both kind of agree it's a better living situation than that crazy girl because
Yeah.
she's real hyper.
Which I don't think there's anything wrong with the friend. She seemed
No, she's
fine.
just a
She's
lot.
just a lot. She's a
Mhm.
lot of energy that you wouldn't want in a new couple relationship.
Well, and she's a lot of energy that you wouldn't want in a
Yep.
roommate because, like,
Right.
I
Mm.
had the best roommate of my life my senior year of college. I lived in an apartment that was 3 floors, and each
Okay.
floor had a bedroom and a bathroom, so we all kinda had our own floors.
Oh, that's nice.
There was somebody who lived in the 3rd floor. I think I maybe saw her twice the
Oh,
entire
really?
the entire school year.
Oh my god, that's
An
wild.
amazing living arrangement.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
kind of roommate
great.
you want. Mhm.
Yeah.
She even
I
had
don't know that I would be a bad roommate, I think.
the 3rd floor had a separate entrance, so
Oh,
I
so
didn't even
she
see her
it
coming and
was like
going.
a her own apartment,
Yeah,
really.
it was
Yeah.
great. It was
That's
great. She
great.
cleaned
That's
up
great.
after herself in the kitchen, so did I. We were done.
Yeah. That's
Perfect.
awesome.
Mhm. I would be a good roommate because you wouldn't even know I was there.
Well, I would be a terrible roommate in that I you would never like, I would probably not even speak to you. That's not true. I
But
just mean
that's
I like my alone time is what I
Mhm.
mean. So I think that would that make me a terrible roommate or would that make
It
me a good
depends on what you
roommate?
want. Like, some
Yeah.
people like a roommate who's gonna hang out with them, and my first year at college, I had that kind of roommate, and it was
And
exhausting.
oh, I bet. I can
Yeah.
see that.
It's
Yeah,
like, "Let's do
especially
movie night. Let's do this. Let's do that."
and
And I
you're
could
like,
do that once in a while, but I didn't have the energy to do that all the time.
yeah.
No.
No, I hear you.
I wanted to stay in my room and write my Days of Our Lives, newsletter that I was doing.
I hate you.
So, Chelsea's friends come over and she takes them out on the back patio. Jimmy's not here, he's upstairs working.
Yeah.
She tells them how much Trevor loved her and how he never saw anyone but her. Then
Oh.
she's telling them Jimmy's on the phone a lot
Mhm.
and that he hasn't kissed her once today.
Amy, this
Now
is so
this
weird.
now this is important because she goes, "I don't know, it might just be me." And all the friends immediately chime in and are like, "No, no, 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 it's not just you. It's not just you." And I'm like, "This is the problem.
Yeah.
This is the problem."
Yeah.
Because if I came to you and I was spouting some shit about Timmy that you knew wasn't true, or you would give me truth.
Yes.
These friends validate all of her insecurities, and that's a
I
problem.
know they do.
Mhm.
It's not good.
Chelsea says he saw a picture of the girl that he was supposed to be with, Jessica, and she's stunning. So, Chelsea is so in her head about this.
I mean, and
She
I
there is
understand it.
there is oh, this is going to sound terrible. There's BJ and AJ before he saw Jessica and after he saw Jessica.
Mhm.
That is the dividing line in this relationship.
Yeah.
And she thinks everything after he saw Jessica is colored now.
I don't know because I'm not seeing that from him.
I'm not either, but
So
that's what
that's what
she's
like
seeing.
I know, but
Yeah.
is she just fabricating it in her head out of
Yes.
her own
Yes.
insecurity? Yeah,
Yes.
okay, because I'm like, I'm not
100%.
seeing it.
Nope. He is totally fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
Totally fine.
I actually think maybe I had a bad read on him.
I still think he is very look, I don't think he's consciously undermining her
Insecurities and
thank you,
whatever.
confidence. I don't think he's
Yes,
consciously doing it. But the fact that Jessica tells us later that he friend requested her,
I
then he
know.
took it away. The fact that Jeremy Dickbag messaged him and said Jessica looks like a Kardashian, and Jimmy told Chelsea this
I know.
is another
Like,
Django block. Boop,
come on, dude,
boop,
though.
boop. He's
But
taking them out.
is he 15 years old? Like, what? In what world does a grown ass man not know that you just don't repeat some things?
What would he stand to gain by telling her like,
I
I
know.
understand he wanted to be transparent. So all he needed to say was, "Look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Jeremy reached out. He was showing me Jessica. He wanted to know if I saw her. I shut him down. I'm just letting you know because I'm being
Yeah.
transparent."
Yep.
He didn't have to say, "Jeremy said she looked like a Kardashian."
I know.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's why
That's
it
the
makes
undermining.
I
That's the
know. And
underpinning
I
here.
see it. I get you.
Yeah.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. He's
Totally.
putting those thoughts in her mind.
Yeah, and he should know better. I mean, come on. This
Mhm.
is like ugh, ugh,
Jim
that's what it
Jimmy
is.
Jimmy now comes downstairs, he joins them on the couch, and they bring up Jessica immediately. And he basically says, this is another part of it. He basically says, "Well, yeah, I was really into Jessica and she like eviscerated me. And Chelsea was there to pick me up and comfort me, so I chose her."
Mhm.
Uh,
Oh, sir.
they talk
I
about the
know.
argument. He professes his love for her 10,000 times in
I
front of these
know.
friends. He kisses her.
Yes, I saw that.
And then later they're chatting and he's like, "I love your friends. I think it went great." She starts hounding him that he doesn't love her enough.
I
He doesn't
know.
say the right things. He doesn't acknowledge her enough. He's like,
She's out of control.
"What?"
I'm sorry.
She's out of control. I
I
agree.
understand that she's insecure. I am wildly insecure. Anyone that
We
knows
all
me
are.
knows this.
Yeah.
But you at least learn how to fake it a little bit. Like she's not even trying.
I
She's going to be the demise of this relationship.
100%.
Truly. Because
100%.
that would drive me fucking nuts.
Yes.
You didn't kiss me enough. I'm
You're right that she
uncomfy.
has to learn to fake it.
Yes, you
Yeah.
have to fake it a
Yep.
little bit. And I'm
Until you
not
get
saying
there.
right. And I don't mean like you have to pretend to be something you're not to get a guy to fall. That's not what I'm saying. But sometimes we do need to just fake it to make it a little
Yep.
bit for our
Yep.
own selves, not
Yep.
for anyone else, for our own selves.
And she's like, "You didn't kiss me at all today." And he
Oh my
names
God.
5 times when
I
he
know.
specifically kissed her.
And notice how she said nothing.
Mhm.
Like what so what is her point? I
Dude,
don't
it's
know, dude.
bad.
I
It's
don't get
real
it.
bad.
It's bad.
So then she brings up Jessica. This is what
Mm,
it's all about.
I know.
This whole time she knew what Jessica looked like.
I
This
know.
is what it's all about.
I know. I think she's just waiting for him to say, "You're so much prettier than Jessica." Like, that's what
Maybe,
she wants to hear.
maybe. I don't
It
even think that
is.
will be enough.
No, I don't either, but I just saying I think that's what she
I think she
wants.
needs to see him drop kick Jessica at a barbecue.
Oh god. Well, we don't
Just
need
kick
to
her in
see
the
that.
face. So Jimmy says, "Look, I brought that up because I wanted you to know the conversation." And he says he did not think for 1 second he made a mistake with the whole choosing her over Jessica. Now she says his tone is not good enough. And
I
he's getting
know.
so frustrated. And I don't blame
I
him.
don't
He's
blame
like,
him either.
I can't with this."
No, she's making him work way too fucking hard.
One thing that drives me crazy is when people let their insecurities bleed all over me. Like,
Uh-huh.
no, stop. Get that shit under control
I know.
because just get thee to
I know.
therapy. All right. Like, I can
Get
tolerate
thee
it
to
to a point
therapy.
and be reassuring to a point, but
Yeah.
this girl,
No,
no,
she's out of control.
she
And
needs
as a
therapy.
fellow really insecure person, I understand this so deeply in my soul, but even like it's even uncomfortable for me to watch. I'm just like, "Oh,
She's like, "I don't feel love from you right now. I didn't feel any love from you the last 2 days."
that can't be true."
And she's talking in these absolutes, right? Like, "I haven't
Yeah,
felt love from you." Like, be more specific. What are you talking about?
right.
Like, do you feel like there's been a shift? Do you
Mhm.
feel like he's
Mhm.
been more distant? Like, maybe those
Mhm.
are more helpful statements than "I
Yeah.
haven't felt love from you for the last 2 days."
Right, it's too broad.
Because then you're undermining everything he
Everything
has
he's
done.
done. Right. A
It's
a
weird.
1000000000%. Yes,
It's
you're right.
weird.
It's wild.
So then he says, "I can't tell you I love you and reassure you every single hour of every single day.
Mhm.
I bit my lip on the taquitos on the beach and I'm in pain."
Do you think that's really true? Did he really bite himself so badly that he can't speak?
I have no idea, dude. He's exhausted by her. He's
No, I know. I just
exhausted.
thought that was the most ridiculous thing I heard.
Then he says, "To be honest, you're being a little clingy," and
And
she
she loses her
fucking
shit.
loses it.
But he's not wrong. I don't know that I could deal with that kind of Klingon. She's a legit Klingon.
She's
It's
real bad.
tough.
He says, "I've told you an excessive amount how much I love you, and it's not
Yeah.
enough." She says, and this is very telling, "I have given 100% to every single person I've ever been with." So this is not about Jimmy.
No.
This is about
It's
the
about
the
her.
men before
Yep.
him. Mhm.
Yep.
"For you to say I'm clingy, that was rude. Fucking rude." And she says, "This is about Jess. You changed the second you saw her picture. I made you dinner, watched your show, and had sex with you."
Oh my god. It's insane. But it's not just after the picture. She's been doing this to him since before the picture.
Agree.
She
Agree.
has. Like,
Agree.
it's
Because she knew what
insanity.
Jessica looked like.
Yes. This is all coming from
So
her.
he says at this point too, like, "Now that you bring up sex, I kind of need a break from that too. Like, I'm just, you know what?" And she threatens to leave, and then he says, "I'm leaving," and he goes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Episode 8 opens with them being all good again.
You know,
All good again.
it's
Everything
so
swept under the
strange.
rug.
So weird.
They
We're
talk
missing either like big chunks of stuff or
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know. They talk about the clinginess again, and he's like, "I'm so sorry." And then he's like, "You weren't serious about never initiating sex again, were you?"
He thought better of that.
Now to fuck with her even more.
I
They
know.
meet his best friends and they're women.
I know.
Oh my
They
and they're
seemed
beautiful women.
I know, but they were a lot better than I thought they were going to be.
They were great. They
They
were
were
fine.
great.
Yes.
Yeah. I was worried that they were gonna be kind of standoffish with her, but
Me
they
too.
really weren't. They really welcomed her, and I thought it was best case scenario
Here's the deal
for
though.
her.
I need to give Jake from Reality Gaze some credit here because he
Okay.
posited a theory that I think he's right about. You
What?
know how we see her in the preview screaming, "You fucked her. I know you fucked her."
Yeah.
Jake thinks that she's talking about one of these girls. That she
Oh.
finds out that their friendship that they used to date or something, and
Oh,
that it's not about
oh.
Jessica. Because there's no
Okay.
way long term she's gonna be okay with him going out with these girls
I know.
and hanging out.
That's true.
So I think Jake could be right about
How
that.
would you feel about that if Timmy had 2 best friends that were women
I
and
will not
super
lie to you, I'm
beautiful?
pretty secure, and I would
I
still
know.
feel like,
I know, me too.
It's
And I'm
hard
not secure, but I would be really weirded out by that.
well, it's hard to like, if it happened now and I'm 45, what am I, 46? I might be better with it than I would have been at 30.
Yes, I agree
Yeah,
with that. I'm
because I
probably
didn't know
better
my
about it
own
now.
worth at 30, so I would have
Mhm.
been super insecure about it,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
now I would be okay, I
So,
think.
like, I think so I don't know if it's just because of, like, different work situations, but Patrick has like, my husband has a lot of female friends,
Mhm,
and, like, when we first started dating a gazillion years ago, that was hard for me. I'm
mhm.
admitting it, that was
Yeah,
hard because I
yeah,
didn't come from a world where like, my ex-husband, worked in a man's field, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
yes.
that sounded terrible. You know what I'm trying to
No, my
say.
husband works in a
And he works
male-dominated
in a male
industry, he's a
yes,
construction worker, yeah. Yep.
exactly. So, I think you might feel differently if Timmy was surrounded by beautiful women all day long, or any women all day long.
At
You
this
know what I
point, I
mean?
wouldn't, but
No, I just mean if he was around them all day and then was hanging
yeah.
out with them, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
I
that
mean,
was the thing for me.
sure, at 30
My
years
husband,
old, absolutely, I would have been.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
my husband's a teacher and is I mean, with mostly I mean, men are teachers too, obviously, but I mean, even where he teaches,
Mhm.
the staff is largely mostly women. I mean, there's a
Yeah,
handful of guys, which is
yeah.
great, but I'm just saying, like, it was weird for me at first just because I didn't have any experience with that, and I struggled. I don't anymore,
Right,
obvious
right,
like,
right. No,
I really don't.
I 100% would have struggled with it at 30
Yeah,
years
but
old.
I remember
100%.
being like yeah, like a gazillion years ago, his phone going off and it being like, I don't know, Lisa, I'm just making up a name, and I being like, "What? Who's that?" Like, I don't
I
just I've grown
I've
up a lot since then.
I've
But
always
I
had
get it.
guy friends, though.
Me
Like, I've
too.
always had guy friends.
Me
One of my very
too.
best friends at work was a guy, and we were very
I know,
close.
I know.
And when I met Timmy, I had a lot of guy friends.
I know. So that's why
Um,
it's like a huge I know, that's what I'm saying. It was a huge double standard because I had a ton of guy
yeah,
friends, but I was jealous of his
yeah,
I'm admitting it, but I was
yeah,
also a lot
yeah.
younger.
No,
Not that way
it's
anymore, but it's tough. It's weird to navigate at
Chelsea is
first.
not gonna be okay with this,
No, Chelsea is not.
and I understand what you're saying, I just wanna validate that because that is
Yeah.
normal, and
Yeah.
I don't know many 30-year-olds who'd be okay with it long
Yeah.
term, you know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Like, you have to be an insanely secure person.
Yeah.
But because don't forget, I'm also coming at this like, I've been married to Timmy for 17 years, I know Timmy, and
Mhm.
so I
Mhm.
would be secure with it. She
Right.
doesn't know Jimmy,
Right.
you know
Well,
what I
and
mean? So, like
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And
She doesn't know.
that may have even had a lot to play into why I was weird, like,
Sure,
insecure
sure,
about it
yes,
in the
yes,
beginning. Yeah, I'm not
yes.
now, but sure.
Yep.
I get it.
So, they talk about the fact that Chelsea was already married and how much she has learned and grown from that. She says she has her dream job, she started a business, we know she does event planning, and she's, like, ready. Then
Yeah.
she starts oversharing. This is
Mhm.
unfortunate.
Yes, it is.
And this is I could tell you just having been this person in my early 20s, she is staking her claim. She's putting her flag in the ground. He's
Mhm.
mine. He cries when we have sex. He loves me so much.
Yeah,
This is
that
her
was
way
weird.
of yeah, her way of
Why would
saying
she
he's
say
mine.
that?
I don't know.
Do you think he really cried when they had sex?
He's sitting there saying, "No, I didn't cry. What are you talking about?"
I know, but
I
was
don't
he
know.
lying? Who's lying?
Here's what happened. I think he cried in the pods. And if you pay attention to the scene, the way that it unfolds, I think the friends misinterpret that he cried during sex because she says something about
Mm.
him crying when they were intimate or something. So I think it's just a misunderstanding, like lost
Oh.
in
Oh, okay.
conversation or
Okay,
whatever.
okay, okay. Yep, yep. That makes
So
sense.
then the friends come out and say Jimmy is super dependent. Like he literally can't exist unless somebody is pushing air through his lungs. Whoa,
I
whoa,
know.
whoa,
Whoa.
whoa. And
These 2 are a really bad combination.
but this explains a lot about him. A,
Yeah.
how he has the patience that he does to deal with her,
Yep.
and B, I could see when Jessica stood up to him and stood up for herself,
Mhm.
why he decided in that moment, "Nope, I can't be with her
Oh, I bet
because
you're
she's
right.
too intimidating and too strong for him."
Oh, I didn't think of that. I didn't even look at it that way, but I
Mhm,
think you're right,
mhm,
Aim.
yeah.
Yes,
So the
that makes
girls,
sense.
Barbara and Maddie, they like Chelsea, and they're like, "She could be our friend. This
Yeah.
is, this is a good thing." So that's
Yeah.
where we leave them. Um I don't know. I think they have a chance of making it
I do too.
if
I
she
really
can I don't
get herself into therapy.
there's nothing he could do to reassure her enough.
There's not. There really
Nothing.
isn't. This is
And
her.
he needs to learn that and stop trying to
Yeah,
jump through all these hoops.
I know.
It's just
Because
not
he's
gonna
gonna get
happen.
real tired of it, and I don't
Mhm.
blame him. I would too. She
He
needs
he
Can we
kinda
start a
needs
petition to get her a therapist?
he kinda needs to say to her, like, "Look,
Yeah.
when you're saying that I'm not doing anything, it makes me not really not wanna do anything. If you
Right,
wanna see me not do anything,
yeah, I'll show
I'll
you.
show you what that looks like."
You want me to give you something to cry
Yeah.
about?
Yes, yes, that's the Gen Xer in me.
Yes.
Mhm.
I know, it's crazy.
Alright.
I don't know,
Now we're gonna
man.
go to Laura and Jeremy. Jeremy, he's a dickbag.
Holy fucking crap.
We learned that after the whole incident with the bean dip, he iced her out, slept on the couch, totally ignored her. He
Mhm.
says in the moment now that he feels like the biggest asshole, and he's really
Mm,
sorry. He
okay.
says she didn't deserve how he acted, and he apologizes. She
Okay.
says, "Just so you know, I don't put up with this shit. And
Mm,
normally I remove myself from these situations. But we're getting married and we're on this show and I'm sticking around."
yeah.
And of course they get into this weird conversation of we're the best couple here, right? Yeah, we're
I
the best. We're the
know. What the
best.
heck?
I don't
That's
know.
so
It's not a
weird.
competition. So later on the beach, he apologizes to AD about the bean dip. And he also
Which I
tells her,
appreciated.
I did too.
Yeah.
And he also tells her, like, Clay gets in his head, just so you know. He's very introspective. I saw this in the pods with him. So if he acts quiet, that's what's happening. And AD's like, thank you. Like, I appreciate you telling me.
Mhm.
Later, Jeremy's chatting with Amy, and it goes south real quick.
Mm,
Because he tells her he wants to talk to Sarah Ann.
I know. Why would you do that? Why?
Amy's like, what now? What?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh boy.
I know. I know. It's
Okay.
insane.
Mm-hmm. So back home, Laura says she feels good about moving in together, but we see her obsessing over like whether or not he's messy. They go to
Yeah.
his house. He has a whole gym in the garage.
Mhm.
This is a thing in North Carolina. So my dad lived in North Carolina for a little bit. And
Okay.
they like hung out in their garage all the time. Like they
Maybe
never put
because
their
it's
cars in the garage.
but is it because it's so warm and you can just leave it
Yeah.
open and it's kinda
Yeah.
like being in the inside outside?
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
that I mean, because I think I
Exactly.
would probably do that too.
It was a whole thing. Like, everybody
Yeah.
in his little development or whatever would have their garages open. They'd be sitting there in their little chairs drinking a beer. Mhm.
Yeah. I could totally get behind that if it truly, I could
Yeah,
totally see why.
yeah. His
I like it.
mom left them a really nice card on the counter.
I know.
His
That was
house
sweet.
okay, okay. His house is very curated. Definitely decorated by a woman, do we agree?
Yes.
Matching
Totally.
silverware, matching
Yeah.
utensils, like, come on.
And they were gold.
They were details that a guy
Nope.
like him, would
Mhm.
overlook.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So that was a red flag for me. Then
Yes.
Laura meets Jess out later. Now here's where I have a little bit of a problem with our girl Laura.
Okay, tell me.
Because Jess is talking about how she really fell for Jimmy. And Autumn, her daughter, was upset that she's not getting married.
Mhm.
And Jess says the day they got back, Jimmy sent her a friend request and she didn't answer it. And when she went back to it a few hours later, he had
It was
taken it
gone.
back. And he also put all his shit to private. Okay.
Which, what could it have just been a lapse in judgment and he was like, "Nope, I'm
Sure.
not gonna go there."
Sure.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I can
Hmm.
see. I don't wanna throw the guy completely under the bus
Me
for
either.
that.
Me either. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Okay.
So she says she's not repulsed by him. She loves his voice and she has some questions for him.
Mm.
She's trying to heal. She does say that Chelsea is gorgeous,
Mhm.
but she says Jessica, is more in line with the women that he's dated because she stalked him out.
Yeah.
Then she asks if Jimmy would want to see her.
Mm.
And here's my problem with Laura. She says yes, and she's encouraging it.
I know. I
In the next
agree.
breath, she's complaining that Sarah Ann is doing the same thing to her.
I know. This pissed me off so
Not
bad.
fucking cool, dude.
No.
Not fucking
No,
cool.
not
No,
cool. Like,
no.
you just don't break the girl code. You just
You
don't do it.
you don't break girl code and then complain in the next breath that someone
That
else is
someone's
doing it to you.
right. Here's something that I need to point out, though. So Jessica says, "Oh, Chelsea's gorgeous." Do we remember what she said when he
Yep.
said he wasn't choosing
Yep.
her? The
Yep.
disgusting thing she said.
Yep.
How he's gonna. What did he say? You're gonna choke
Yep.
when you see what
So
you're
they
giving
asked
up,
her
or
about that in an interview on like Entertainment Tonight or
oh,
something,
really?
and she tried to backpedal real hard. And she's like,
Oh,
"I just meant, the whole experience. Once he sees what life is gonna be." No, you don't.
no, you
That's
didn't,
not what you
bitch.
meant.
That's
It's
not
not
what you
what you
meant.
meant.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
And I just called her a bitch. That was mean.
Nope.
But like, no,
No, she
that
was
was
being
bitchy.
bitchy in that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, she
She
was.
was totally saying Chelsea is ugly.
Yeah, and I'm so hot. That's exactly what
Yep.
she was saying.
And now she's
And
on camera and
mhm.
she's conscious of it.
Yeah.
So she's saying Chelsea's beautiful.
Mhm.
So, whatever. She's telling the camera she's not over him and she's talking to the producers about their sexual chemistry and she's like, "I still dream about him." And then she says to the producers, "I would be too tempting for him and you guys know it."
I
Mhm.
can't. I
Mhm.
can't. I
Yep.
can't.
Okay.
Holy hell with like an inflated sense of self.
Now we have the next day.
Mm.
And Laura and Jeremy are getting ready for his parents to come over. And they're snarking back and forth.
Mhm.
And he says to her, I forget what they're talking about, but it's something in the kitchen. And he says, "You need to do it this way." And she says, "Okay, thanks." And he goes, well, somebody has to be the brains of the operation, clearly kidding. And
Yeah.
she goes, "Who has a college degree?"
Yep. No, sir. No, ma'am. No.
Ugh.
No, ma'am. I'm done with her.
That
She
is
was
that is a low fucking
That's a
blow.
low fucking blow.
Because they've talked about that, and he's
Yep.
sensitive about that.
Yeah, that was no. I'm not feeling her at all. I'm
My
done.
husband doesn't have a college degree.
I don't either.
He was discouraged from going
I
to
know.
college. He would have
I
done
know.
really well in that world, but he didn't.
Right.
Instead, he
Agreed.
traveled, he owned his own business, he's been successful in his own way.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
would never say that to him
No. That would
because
be a
number
terrible
1,
thing to say.
I know that it's a regret that he carries with him in his life, and
Same.
number 2, he has educated himself and is more educated than a lot of people I know with college degrees.
Yes.
So, like,
Yes.
let's just get rid of that right now, that whole
I
idea that
know.
only smart people have college degrees, that's not true.
Not true. It's not true.
And the fact that she said that to him on camera,
Disgusting.
that was
No.
bad. That was a
And you know
low
what?
blow.
The first drop, I really thought she was one of my favorites. I really did.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
thought she was
not
funny,
anymore.
and no, I'm done. No,
She
no,
shows
she's
up
in the
like a
trash
boss at the
pile.
end, and I do appreciate that,
I
but
did
this
too,
no, this no.
but
Mm-mm.
this behavior puts her in the trash pile to me,
Yep.
even regardless how she showed up at the end. No.
So her parents come in and she immediately starts throwing him under the bus. She tells him about Sarah Ann. So, oh, I forgot to cover this at the bar. Sarah Ann had sent Jeremy a message
Yeah.
basically saying, if you start to regret your decision, I'm here. And
Mhm.
Jeremy double tapped it, which makes it a heart.
Mhm.
And there's a whole
Mhm.
thing. And it's just a real passive aggressive. I hate when couples bicker in front of me. It makes me super uncomfortable.
It's annoying.
And they're doing that. And
It's
it's not
annoying.
good. It's not good.
So, I don't I kind of understand what he was saying about he was just acknowledging that he read it,
Yes. Yep.
because I do that.
Sure.
Like, how many times a day someone will send me a meme that I don't even open, but I double tap it just to say,
Yeah.
"Hey, got it. Huh,
Yeah.
thanks." Like I
Yep.
do that too.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know what his intentions were,
Well, we
clearly, and
learn
it
later.
we learn,
Mhm.
yeah, but I'm just saying, ugh, I
She
don't know.
is she's kind of a monster, I'm not gonna
She's
lie.
a huge monster.
Mhm.
She's a
I'm
monster.
I'm so triggered by couples that are like that I will tell you, when
Mhm.
Timmy and I go out and we go to this regular haunt of ours, there has been times where he has made jokes or comments that are like, "Oh, my wife," or blah blah blah, right? Once in a rare while.
Okay.
I flip out on him every single time it happens, and one of the things
Mhm.
I say to him is, "We are not that couple.
Yeah.
I don't wanna be that couple. If you want
No.
to be, then we're not doing this
Yeah.
because it drives me so crazy. It's like Pastor Cal with the woman be shopping.
Yeah, no. Oh my
No.
god.
And
Pastor Cal.
sometimes I think people do it to fit in weirdly
Oh,
because it's kind of
yes.
like a cultural thing.
Right, and it's also a way of being like, "Ha ha ha, look, I can make fun of mine too." Like, it's
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. Like,
I
I
don't
get
like it.
why it's done. I don't like it either.
I don't like it
And
either,
that's
but
one thing I can say Patrick, thank God, has never done to me.
yeah. Yeah, Timmy, very rarely, but if it happens, I call it out.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But I've experienced that in my first marriage a lot.
And I can tell you, like, Timmy will come home, and we've talked about this many times. Like, he works with a bunch of men. He works in a very
Yeah.
male dominated,
Yep.
misogynistic,
Yep.
toxic masculinity world.
Yes, yes.
And he has said to me many times, like, the way these men talk about their wives is real bad,
Real
real,
bad.
real bad. And
I
he has to
believe it.
even remove himself from it because
Wow.
it's not cool.
I know.
So they're doing this. They're just
Mhm.
bickering in front of the
Mhm.
parents, and the
It's
parents are kind
so
of like,
dumb.
"She's a
What?
nightmare." And if he could
Mhm.
put up with her, okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, I don't think she's a nightmare. I just think this
She's too
is
much.
she's too much right now, a week into their relationship.
Yeah,
If
big
they want to
time.
do this 3 years down the road, fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
Not right now.
It's weird. It's super weird.
And it's like it's undercutting him. Like
Yeah.
she makes him sound like a
Yes.
kid. Like
Yeah,
it's
she does.
weird.
She does.
All right, now we're going to cover the last scene.
Oh.
All right.
Bum bum bum.
We see Jeremy. He's in the living room wearing sunglasses.
He's in the hot seat, literally.
Laura walks in. She says, "Get those off." Now, we learned that he left at 10:45 to go out and did
Who
not
goes
come
out at
home.
10:45?
20-year-olds.
Oh, they are 20. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
When
Okay.
I was when
True,
I was
true.
divorced and going out with my friend Jen, she would legit pick me up at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. I know. I did too, I guess. It was that long ago, though.
I was always a lady of a certain age, though, and I did not like it even then.
No, I don't like it either.
So he left at 10:45. He didn't get home till 5 a.m. He says they started going to a karaoke bar. That was the plan. Then the location changed. Then he says halfway there, someone texts him. So it had to be somebody from the pods. We don't know who. It might have been somebody that
Mhm.
didn't make it. So we don't know, we didn't
Mhm.
follow them. Saying that Sarah Ann was at the bar.
Mm.
Jeremy was going to turn around and come home. But he decided, I'm not going to let someone else dictate my good time. Okay,
Can't.
boner.
No, whatever.
So she was so upset. Oh, she comes to the bar, they hug. Then he says, Sarah Ann was so upset. So in order to not make this worse, I decided to have a conversation with her and we
I
hung
can't.
back.
I can't. This is so bad. I want to murder him. I
Laura says,
literally want to murder him.
you hung back with Sarah Ann until 5 a.m. Yes. She says, you're constantly dumping things on me that I have to deal with regarding Sarah Ann. You're not shutting it down with her. So I'm supposed to trust that suddenly now you're shutting it down with her in a parking lot until 5 a.m. And she says, I don't fucking believe you.
Yeah.
You left the
Ugh.
door open. You're not capable of cutting this off with her. And I brought you none of this bullshit.
And that's true.
True.
Because we don't see any other than
Mm-mm.
her crazy, but
And I just want to be very clear.
yeah.
I know we were saying she's too hard on him, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
None of that is an excuse for what he did. I
no,
just want to be very clear on
no,
that.
no.
Yes.
Those two things don't even go in the
Right.
same
Yes.
conversation. No.
So he says, for an extra layer of reassurance, I shared my location. And she's like, I was asleep, A. And second, I don't want to be with someone from whom I need an extra layer of reassurance.
Yeah. Yeah.
She says, I'm telling you right now, I don't want to meet your mother today because I have nothing nice to say about you. Then she says, you didn't text me, nothing. Where were you?
I know.
He says, in the parking lot. Then there's a weird edit. And then he says, I'm not denying anything. And she says, you're denying leaving the parking lot. He says, I don't want to talk about this right now, AKA on camera.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Then she says, you lied. You were not in that parking lot. Don't share your location if you don't want me to check it. You were north of Uptown, which is exactly where Sarah Ann lives. She
Mm-hmm.
gets up, walks away. She says, I want out. And he throws his glasses. Well done.
Whoa.
Well done.
Well done. Well done.
She had that
A
answer all
plus.
along, and
I
she
know.
gave him opportunities.
Give
Nope.
him enough rope.
Nope.
I know.
I would not
She
be okay with
really
this on any level.
Me either. No. No, 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 no.
Any level.
Regardless what we said about her, absolutely not. This isn't
Mm-mm.
okay for anyone.
Mm-mm.
He's a piece of garbage and he
Mhm.
belongs in the fucking trash pile.
Yep. I would not be okay with this in any
No.
way. In any
No.
way. No.
And also too, like, what I want to say is, like, shame on Sarah Ann. Like, why are, like,
Mhm.
in what world? It's 2024. Women haven't learned by now that, like, we need to stick together. We don't need to
We need to have each
backstab
other's
each other.
backs.
Come
Right.
on.
Right.
God.
And if Laura was completely terrible to Sarah Ann in the pods, then we need to see that.
See
So we have
that.
some context for what's happening here.
Exactly.
But we don't see that. In fact, Laura, was very nice to Sarah Ann when Sarah Ann had come back from the pods and said, it's you, it's not me.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know.
I know. I don't know either.
But I would not be okay
Holy
with this
shit.
bullshit.
But the way she just sat there and let him spew lies was so fucking great.
Mhm.
I am here for that.
And I am done with all of these trash men
Yeah.
being more worried about what they look like on camera
I
than being
know.
authentic.
I know. It's
Because
so
we're seeing this
bad.
on MAFs. We're seeing this on this show.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's on
I'm done.
most of them, really. It's
I'm done.
bad. This has gotten real bad, though. Between Love is Blind and Married at First Sight, truly, I don't know like, I feel like I don't even want, I don't want to say I don't want to keep watching, but there's a part of me that doesn't want to keep watching because now we know it's just not real. Like I don't want to say all, a lot of the people just have an agenda,
I
and that
agree.
ruins it for me.
I agree. And this is, again, the same production company. Something is awry in the casting department there.
Yeah, big time.
I
Big
just,
time.
I, d- these people all want to be influencers or something.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't
Which I
know.
guess, I mean, everybody is doing it. Like, I understand that that's how, I mean, and you know what? We saw the writing on the wall years ago with the Married at First Sight girls selling their beauty products. I mean, that
Yep.
Jamie Otis will sell fucking garbage off the street
Don't
for a
get me started on
dollar.
Jamie Otis. Do
No,
not.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, but it
I
all
do.
stems from somewhere.
Yeah.
They've all sort of, not all, but a lot of them, especially the women, have made like a social presence for themselves
Well,
with
and
like sponsors and stuff
yes,
like
but I
that.
think what used to happen is they would go on these shows, do the experiment, and then
Mhm.
there's some level of fame that comes with that. And
Mhm.
so they were like, "Oh, there's this fame that I have. I'm gonna not exploit that, but I'm gonna take advantage of it, and I'm gonna use it and sell blah blah plexus
Yeah.
or whatever." Right
Totally understandable.
now, it has turned into I need to get to that point. So what can I
Mhm.
do to get there? I'm gonna go
I'm
on
gonna
this
go on
show.
a show.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
So
Oh,
the
it's bad.
intention is different.
Yes,
It's
and that's
wild.
what it just it takes away the authenticity of the experiment, and I hate that.
I agree. We have a next time on. You ready?
Yeah, oh God.
Next time on, everybody's in love until they aren't.
Until they aren't.
Clay is worried he's going to cheat. Johnny
I
asks
mean,
Amy's father for his blessing, and we get a little like Peanuts character, like "Boo, boo, 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 boo."
I
We can't hear
know.
what he says. I don't know what's
I
going on.
know.
There's a picnic or
Oh,
a gathering with the other singles, and at this gathering, Chelsea flirts with Trevor.
yeah.
Jimmy flirts with Jessica. AD and Sarah Ann are talking, and AD says he didn't choose you. And Sarah Ann says, Jeremy told me he was breaking everything off. And then in
Maybe
the
she meant in the
final,
pods.
maybe, in the final few seconds, we see Chelsea, AD, and Amy in wedding dresses. No Laura.
No, Laura.
I don't think they make it to that point.
No, I mean, do you blame her? I
No,
don't.
no. That would have been the deal breaker for me. It
Mhm.
really would have been.
Oh, me too. There's no coming back from
No
that.
coming
No fucking
back.
way. We're 8 days into a relationship and you're already spending the night with someone else. No,
I
thank
would
you.
never trust you. I would
No.
never trust you. No,
No,
no, no, no, no.
never. You're a
Nope.
piece of trash. Mm-mm.
All
Throw
right,
him in the
girl.
trash pile. This is getting nasty.
Think we've said it all. Did you watch Maths yet for this week?
I did. It's a tough one.
Guys.
Oh, buckle up.
Buckle the fuck up.
Literally. It
Yeah,
gets nutty.
it's gonna get wild. I will tease a little bit that Steph and I have a big crossover coming up. We're not
We
gonna announce it yet until it's
do.
recorded and done and in the
Yeah,
bank.
in the vault.
But
Yep, yep, yep.
stay tuned. That's gonna be coming at you soon.
Really excited.
Very excited. Also, Amanda and I are doing Couple to Throuple.
Yep.
You and I are doing Prison Brides,
Yep.
which is getting very good.
It is. Yep. Yep.
We're doing math, so like I said. And then Amanda and I are also doing Sister Wives on
Yes. Patreon.
Patreon, Supercast, Apple subscriptions.
Yep.
We're also doing Single Life over there. So we're doing
Nice.
2 shows.
Yep,
All right,
yep.
my friend. I think we've said it all. I think we've said it
Backdoor
all.
friends. Tell us what you think.
Backdoor friends, weigh in. Weigh in. Weigh in. All
Mm.
right. Thank you guys. Jump into Backdoor Friends.
Yeah, leave us a review.
Leave us a
5
review.
stars only, though.
Yeah.
Say what you want, but 5 stars.
5 stars. You can tell us we're
Fine.
trash, but 5 stars
Yeah,
above
we
it.
get it. We get it. I'm not for everybody.
All right,
We're
my
not
friend.
for everybody.
I'm definitely not
That's-
for everybody.
No, it's not either. It's okay.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Love your bones.